Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bulldog Report. I'm Eddie Kalegi. Happy Tuesday. We are back for some boys basketball action today as the 2-2 Metuchen Bulldogs host the 0-4 Spotswood Chargers. I'm Eddie Kalegi, excited to be on the call for today's action. We're just under 5 minutes away from the start of today's game. Metuchen coming in off of what you can consider to be a tough loss. They played Denellen really tough, but allowed 15 consecutive points in the last 3 minutes to end the game. Ended up losing that one 58-53. Really disappointing. Metuchen was held silent from the 3-minute mark until about 20 seconds left in the game. A tough loss for the Bulldogs, but they get a chance for some revenge here against a Spotswood team that lost 8 seniors from their 2020 season. They've been allowing 76 points per game through their first 4, scoring only 44 points per game. It's been quite the drop-off. From basically a 500 team last year, they went 12-15 and even 6-6 in GMC play, falling in the first round of the GMC tournament to Wardlaw. And they've won their last 3 meetings against Metuchen, winning last season's 2 bouts by a combined 17 points. First of 2 meetings between the Bulldogs and rival Chargers this year. They'll meet in Spotswood on February the 24th. This game was supposed to take place yesterday, but was postponed due to the inclement weather. But now today, back in action, boys basketball ready to go here between Metuchen and Spotswood. So looking at some of the key players in this game, first for the Spotswood Chargers, sophomore Casey Comiskey is leading the way with 12.5 points per game. He had a game-high 13 in their last game, which was a disappointing 76-37 loss to South Plainfield, a team that Metuchen has already beaten this season in a triple overtime affair. As for Metuchen, same story as always. Luke Schleck averaging 17.8 points per game through the first 4 contests. 10 three-pointers made. Michael Piavoso, 16 points per game. Schleck coming off of a season-high 21-point performance. Those two will be key. Jai Dreher also looking to bounce back. 2 games ago, he had that 18 and 21 rebound game against South Plainfield. Held to just 4 points in a bit of a rough one against Denellen, so he'll be looking to bounce back. Metuchen also shifts Logan Grice into the starting lineup today after he had a season-high 14 points in Saturday's loss to the Destroyers of Denellen. But should be a good one here between the Metuchen Bulldogs and the Spotswood Chargers. And as we've mentioned before, the Bulldogs are looking to bounce back this season. They were 8-18 last year. Worst record since 2015. They dealt with injuries throughout the season. Of course, they've been without Dominic Schiappa this season, which has hurt because he was their leading scorer in 2020. But the Bulldogs looking to bounce back. They have a lot of talented seniors. They've had a bit of a tough schedule, to be honest, looking through these first 4 games. They've had to play Middlesex at home, then they went to Edison and South Plainfield and split those games, and then had the loss to St. Allen. But today can be a good one if they can get back over 500 at 3-2. But we'll take a quick pause and send it to the court for our pregame ceremonies, as we're just about moments away for some action here between Metuchen and Spotswood.
Before we get to the starting lineups, would you please stand for playing of our national anthem?
All right, so we are ready to go. Just a quick recap. Spotswood starting lineup. Ryan Applegate is out there with Dan Yaris, Casey Comiskey, Roman Carone, and Aiden Scherr. For the Bulldogs, Logan Grice, like we said, getting the start today after that season-best performance on Saturday against Denellen. Back with the usual suspects, Aiden Ahmed, Dreher, Piavoso, and Schleck. Of course, still no Dom Chiappa, out with an injury. You can see him in a boot over there on the sidelines. But let's get ready to start as Metuchen and Spotswood. First meeting of the season, Spotswood looking to try to make it their fourth consecutive victory against the Bulldogs in the first of two meetings in the next 15 days. Spotswood won the opening coin thing, so let's get started here. Like we said, no tip-off anymore. It's a little different here in basketball in 2021, but Spotswood has it to start. There's Aiden Scherr, feeds it over, that's Applegate. Kicks it back, Scherr swings it around to Comiskey at the top of the key. Over to Carone, now it's Scherr in the corner. Scherr drives, strong side, lays it up, can't get it to fall. Rebound by Luke Schleck, and here comes Metuchen the other way. Bulldogs offense has been strong this year, and this is against a Spotswood team that has struggled on defense as Jai Dreher misses the easy layup to start the game. So first shot no good for the Bulldogs, who have shot the ball pretty well, specifically from three this season, as dialing up one from downtown and hitting is Dan Yaris to make it 3-0 Chargers. Yaris averaging 2 points per game. He gets 3 right there. Here's Aiden Ahmed over to Piavoso. Piavoso lollipops one up to Dreher, and it rims out. Tough miss right there. Dreher is 0 for 2 in the first minute. Now here comes Aiden Scherr the other way for the Chargers. That one knocked away out of bounds. Last touch by Piavoso, and Spotswood will have it. It'll be Yaris, looks like passing it in. No, never mind. Comiskey's going to come over and take it. So Comiskey finds Aiden Scherr. Scherr's averaging just under 8 points a game this season. Dreher tries to knock it free, but it'll go out of bounds. Metuchen's defense has also been solid this year. They come in with a better offense and a better defense. You'd expect them to do well, but of course, the GMC Blue Division, very competitive. As another one from Yaris, and it gets stuck up there. That's what they call a wedgie, as the ball gets stuck up there just a minute and a half in. First time we've seen that this year. Here on the Bulldog Report, but Metuchen will take over after the missed 3 right there by Yaris, as it's Michael Piavoso across the timeline, and a foul is going to be called there against Ryan Applegate. So 2 seniors, only 2 on the Spotswood team. Caden Esser and Liam Barlow, who are both coming off the bench. This is a younger team, and of course they had 8 seniors that graduated from last year. That's why Metuchen has such an advantage this year, because they only lost 2 seniors. As Piavoso charges in, he'll get hit, and he'll head to the free throw line, as a foul is going to be picked up, I believe, by Yaris. So Michael Piavoso will head to the line here. 15 points in Metuchen's loss on Saturday. First one is left short by Piavoso. Metuchen has also prided themselves on being able to shoot from the free throw line, but off to a little bit of a rocky start here. First 2 shots have missed, and now Piavoso has missed his first free throw. Back end of his trip to the charity stripe results in a point, though, so it's 3-1 now. 6:32 remaining in the quarter. Carone over to Comiskey. Now there's Applegate. Applegate lines one up from downtown. That's way short. Rebound by Aiden Ahmed. Ahmed gets it over to Grice. Now there's Dreher. Now Piavoso in the corner. Piavoso swings one over. Schleck for 3. That one's short. Piavoso corrals the rebound. Spins around. Puts it up. And good off the glass. First shot made for Metuchen comes 2 minutes into the game. And we're all even at 3 apiece. Here's Applegate. Applegate with a head fake. Kicks it over to Comiskey, who pivots. Finds an open man in Carone. Carone backs in. Drives in. Now kicks it back out. Applegate. Double team comes. Ahmed and Grice. And it looks like that's going to be a foul there against Aiden Ahmed. They came with the double, but while double teaming can be smart, you got to be smart with it as well and not make a silly mistake like fouling when you're trying to force a jump ball. As into the game now is Dominic Perez. He has it here for the Chargers. Gets it back out to Yaris. And that one's taken away by Dreher. Jai Dreher down the lane, lays it up and in. First bucket for Jai Dreher coming off that quiet performance against the Destroyers, and Metuchen has scored 5 unanswered to take their first lead of the night. Spin move, almost a turnover, but getting it back was Carone. And that's an offensive foul, moving screen set right there. And with 5:22 remaining in the quarter, and Metuchen, actually Spotswood called timeout right there. I thought that was an offensive foul. We'll see what the official call is afterwards. But regardless, I was a little confused by the signal right there. But anyway, we've got a timeout here, Metuchen and Spotswood. So Spotswood got off to a nice start. They hit that three-pointer from Dan Yaris, and then 5 straight points from the Bulldogs following that. Following this game for Metuchen, they'll be in South River. They don't have another home game after these 2 in a row until next Monday, February 15th. They've got a pair of road games that they'll try to make the most of as they hit the halfway point of the season already tomorrow. They'll be through 6 of their 12 regular season games. Of course, this is a very unprecedented and unconventional season. Really unique to see such a short season. We've seen the rules, of course, no opening tip-off and other things, of course, players with masks on, and it's a different time, but it's great to see some sports going on this winter in Metuchen and all across the Garden State. It's getting free off the screen. That's Comiskey, who airballs a 3, trying to save it as Carone. He steps out of bounds. So my bad on that previous call. That was not an offensive foul. They just called timeout. So here's Aiden Ahmed. He'll bring it across the timeline for the Bulldogs. Ahmed, the lone junior, in right now with the 4 seniors. And Ahmed was hurt for much of last season. And he's taken over for Schiappa, who's out as they steal. A fake, a shot, does not fall for Dominic Perez. And it looks like they're going to wave off the shot as Comiskey got hit. As Metuchen will pick up their second foul here. This one's on Logan Grice. Grice got into some early foul trouble on Saturday. Metuchen's got to be careful with their foul trouble. They have a decently deep bench, but not terribly deep, as that shot doesn't fall for Comiskey. Luke Schleck corrals the miss. Schleck, don't underestimate his rebounding and defensive abilities. I know they have Jai Dreher, but Schleck, despite being a guard, can still use his height to his advantage, as Jai Dreher picks up an offensive foul trying to post up Comiskey. So it's been a rough start here for the senior forward, Jai Dreher. So Spotswood has it, trailing 5-3 here with 4.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. This pass going around. It's Comiskey. Comiskey over to Dom Perez. Perez drives, guarded by Ahmed. It's 12 on 12. Now Aiden Schur in the corner. Feeds it over. A little strong. Yaris dials up a 3. That one's off. Jai Dreher the rebound. Yaris just 1 of 4 from deep here in the opening of this game. Now here's Logan Grice. Grice bounces one into Schleck. Schleck posting up, making a move, and he'll draw the foul. So both teams picking up some early fouls. That's already the 3rd against the Chargers, and I believe that will be number 2 against Dan Yaris. Yes, it is. So Spotswood's also got a very deep team, so we'll see if they make any changes here, as that first one's going to fall for Schleck. And yes, Yaris will head to the bench. And that'll be Dennis Pidcamini who will come in. One of the more unique spellings of names that I've had to try to learn, but Dennis Pidcamini is into the game right now. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, but nonetheless, both free throws fall right there to make it a 7-3 Metuchen lead. Schleck with his first points of the game, as losing the ball right there on the ground. Jai Dreher gets tied up with Perez, and it will stay. Actually, no, it's going to be Metuchen ball. Or not. I think one ref signaled Metuchen, one ref signaled Spotswood. Confusion from Coach Jensen, but it's going to be Spotswood ball underneath. That's what the far side ref said. As, nevertheless, Charger ball. been a little bit of difficulty with the cohesion, it seems like, between the two refs so far in this game. As Pitkamini nearly picks up his dribble, now feeds one over. Perez gets through, kicks it out to Aiden Schur. Schur back out Pitkamini, now driving in and losing the ball is Carone. It's taken away by the Bulldogs. Here comes Schleck driving in, laying it up. No contest. Luke Schleck's got 4, and Metuchen has scored 9 straight after that game-opening 3 from the Chargers. It's now 9-3 Bulldogs. Three-pointer here from Schur is Schur, as Aiden Schur from downtown, 9-6. Here comes Ahmed. Ahmed feeds one over. There's Grice. Grice drives in. Did he travel? Yes, he did. Actually, they're going to call a foul there. And Grice will have it underneath. Logan Grice here is going to find Ahmed inside Schleck. Schleck posts up. Nice defense there from Carone. And now Aiden Schur the other way. Here comes Schur. Schur trying to find someone open. And he knocks one right over near Ahmed. And it's going to go off of Aiden Ahmed and stay with the Chargers. Spotswood coach pretty far on the court right now, pleading to his team and to the refs. As that pass is going to go into Applegate, who is checked back in after picking up an early foul. Now Schur. Ahmed playing great defense so far. Driving in is Applegate, kicks it out. Kaminsky sidesteps, tries a 3. That's actually Roman Carone, and he can't hit. Rebound by Perez. Perez almost has it stripped. Now Applegate puts one up. A foul's going to be called on the shot. Third foul against Metuchen. That's the first against Piofoso. And Applegate will head to the line. Ryan Applegate averaging 7 points per game so far this season. Held to exactly 7 points last game against South Plainfield as he hits the first free throw to get Spotswood within 2. That one does not fall. Rebound Dreher. So it's 9-7 Metuchen. 2:24 remaining here in the first. As Grice drives, flips it up, can't get it to fall. Applegate can't hang on to it. Aiden Schur's got it, though, for Spotswood. He kicks it over to Kaminsky. Kaminsky drives. Kaminsky up and in. 6 unanswered right here as Casey Kaminsky with his first point. Spotswood's leading scorer, and we're now deadlocked at 9. Piovoso over to Schleck. Schleck inside. Dreher can't hang on to it. Taken away by Aiden Schur. Spotswood with all the momentum right now. Here comes Schur. Blows past Grice. Sidesteps on Schleck. Tries to kick it back, but it'll be knocked out of bounds off of Grice. And Spotswood will have it in front of the Metuchen sideline. Kaminsky finds Schur. Schur gets it over to Dom Perez. Perez kicks it back. Through the legs for Kaminsky. Finds Schur. Schur sidesteps, kicks it out. Dom Perez has space from 3, can't get it to go. Schur the rebound, double teamed, throws it off of Jai Dreher. Wise play right there from Schur as he was trending out of bounds to just throw it off the defender. And Spotswood gets to keep possession and reset here. And Sam Kaguima is going to get his first appearance here. He's going to check in for Jai Dreher. Nice to see him on the varsity team. We expect him to be a big-time player next year when players like Dreher and Schleck depart. As losing the ball, chasing after it, trying to save it. Here comes Applegate. Applegate floats it up. Kaguima tries to draw the charge. He can't hang on to the rebound, though. And Spotswood is going to keep possession and have a third chance at this with 1:22 remaining in the quarter. See, Kaguima is going with the mask. Seen the girls' team does. The boys' team, only a couple of players do, but of course everybody does on the sidelines per NJSI AA guidelines. To the corner, Schleck, and again Spotswood's going to try. Metuchen's defense has been solid, but Spotswood keeps getting opportunities. The Bulldogs have not shot the ball all that well through the first quarter and have had some turnovers. As that pass Carone kicks it back. And that's a three-pointer. It will not fall for Applegate. Rebound by Spotswood. Here's another three-pointer. That one won't go. And the rebound's now to Piavoso. And Piavoso, double dribble. That's going to go back to Spotswood with just under a minute, 58 seconds on the clock. So here comes Spotswood. I believe that's Brandon Bandoy who's in the game now. And that's a quick pass over. Caden Esser is also in. This is a very deep Spotswood roster, while Metuchen has gone with just 7 players so far. Applegate for 3. No good off the back iron. Kaguima goes for the rebound, and that's going to be an over the back against the Chargers. Their 5th foul already. Metuchen's got 4, so both these teams could easily end up in the bonus, as Comiskey now has 2 fouls. So 2 of Spotswood's best scorers, Yaris and Comiskey, now both have 2 fouls. So that'll be something to watch for as Aiden Ahmed ambles it up the court. Ahmed gets it over to Cohen. Inside, Schleck makes 1 miss, gets hounded by 2, and Luke Schleck will go back to the free throw line to try to give Metuchen the lead. We're tied at 9. Neither team has scored in about 2 minutes here, so we've got 26 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Already 1 away from the bonus, so Metuchen's going to have a chance to shoot a lot of free throws. That's Caden Esser who picks that one up. As prior to that, a couple of substitutions. Yaris is going to check back into the game. Chris Stanaway was also in for a moment. And he's still in here as that free throw will fall for Schleck. So Schleck makes it 10-9. He's got 5. Half of Metuchen's points at this point. Iacono. Now there's Stanaway. Now Comiskey gets it back. 8 seconds. Stanaway over to Iacono. 3 seconds. Deep 3. Comiskey. And that's going to hit the roof up there. And that'll be a turnover with 0.6 seconds. Hit that netting up there. If you try to arc a deep three-pointer, it's always possible to clip that here at MHS. 0.6 seconds. Maybe they can get a shot off. Coach Jensen getting a clarification from the ref over at the scorer's table. And it looks like they're going to get it up to 1.2 seconds. Spotswood's coach not too happy about that, but now Metuchen actually has time to get up some sort of a shot. And they're going to overthrow Schleck. Deep three-pointer, not even close, and that'll end the first quarter. A pretty sloppy first quarter. Neither team shooting particularly well, and both teams in early foul trouble. Bulldogs on top, though, by 1. The score is 10-9. This is Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. We'll be back in a moment. So, start of the second quarter, Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. Excited to be bringing you coverage today of this Tuesday night bout between the Metuchen Bulldogs and rival Spotswood. Current score 10-9 Bulldogs. And the main story here has been the foul. Spotswood has already picked up 6 fouls, so one more, and they've already been in a 1-1 situation as a travel by Grice. That's 2 for him already. We've talked about how the girls have had some issues with turnovers such as travels this season, but the boys proving to be no exception here. As here's Aiden Scher completely crosses up Ahmed. Now Max Cohn's got to try to stop him. Kick back here to Esser, who's going to drive. Knocked away. Shot up, will not fall for the senior Caden Esser. Logan Grice gets the rebound. Here's Grice, feeds it over. Schleck, 3, no good off the back iron. Metuchen was so solid from 3 in their last game against Denellen. They have not hit one from beyond the arc yet. And now a travel for Roman Carone. And it'll be Metuchen ball. So Ahmed brings it up. Ahmed, Grice, Schleck, Dreher, and Cohn, the 5 for Metuchen. Scher, Carone, Esser, Iacono, and Applegate, the 5 for the Chargers of Spotswood. Cohn, no look pass out to Ahmed. Now Grice swings it around to Schleck in the right corner. Schleck now drives on the baseline, spins, puts one up through the contact, gets it to fall, and 1. Luke Schleck, nice post moves. Everybody was talking about his three-point shooting ability after his strong performance from beyond the arc on Saturday. But he can also do things like that. That's what makes Luke Schleck so tough with his height. He can just easily post someone up and make a razzle-dazzle finish like that. He can't hit the free throw, so it's just 2 points there. But nonetheless, Metuchen now leads at 12-9 with 7 minutes remaining here in quarter number 2. Aiden Scher passes it over. Applegate, shot's going to be waved off. A travel. So Spotswood having many of the same issues as the Bulldogs right now. So some disappointment on that front for the Chargers. We're putting up a pretty nice fight here against Metuchen. They have not played well in any of their 4 games so far this season. As we said, they're allowing 76 points per game and scoring only 44. Dreher, Ahmed, back out Dreher. Gets it back over to Grice on the right wing. Grice is met by Stanaway. Now Grice kicks it over to Dreher. Dreher with a little sidestep move. Flicks one out to Ahmed. Flings one around. 3-pointer Schleck. No good. And I think that's going to be an over-the-back call against Jai Dreher. So that's now 6 against Metuchen and 2 against Jai Dreher. Spotswood's got 7 fouls, so any other fouls in this half are going to send players to the free throw line. We still have 6:17 remaining in the second quarter. And what do you know, with another foul. Metuchen not doing well when it comes to fouls today. That's now 7 on the Bulldogs, and Max Cohn picks one up this time. Fortunately, none of their big stars have more than 2 fouls, but you got to think, you got to make an adjustment here. Because, like we said, Metuchen does have somewhat of a deep team, but you don't want to have to rely on their depth to try to win a game at this point, especially since they're without Chiappa, so that just makes this team a little less deep in terms of scoring, as the front end of the 1-1 does not fall. And is that going to be another foul there? Yes, it will. So they'll just do a little rotation here. Now it's going to be Stanaway, the one at the line, as that's now 8 fouls, and now Luke Schleck has one. Front end of the 1-1 is good for Chris Stanaway to make it 12-10. So not a clean game so far for the Bulldogs, who have picked up 8 fouls in the first 10 minutes. Not something we've seen from this team at all this season. They've had a little bit of foul trouble, but definitely not near this extent. Here's Piavoso. Finds Schleck. Schleck. No good. Rebound by Carone. Now here comes Aiden Scher. Scher driving with the shoulder. Now kicks it out. Iacono to the corner. Back to Iacono. Fakes a 3. Drives in. Has it slip out of his hands. Saved by Esser. 3-pointer Carone. That is good from the corner. Roman Corona's been off until there, and he gives Spotswood a 14-12 lead. We know every game's tough, but this is a team that Metuchen was expected to beat, so they have to really pick things up here through the rest of the second quarter and definitely into the second half, clean up some of these mistakes such as the turnovers and the fouls. As a foul here against Aiden Schur, that's his first. And that will send Michael Piavoso to the line. Piavoso just 3 points so far, 1 of 2 from the charity stripe, looking to even the game here if he can sink both these free throws, but he'll miss the first and not even have a chance at the second, and Spotswood is back on the run. Aiden Schur finds Iacono. Back to Schur. Schur back to the corner. Esser almost loses his dribble, regathers, finds Stanaway. Stanaway heaves one over, but out of bounds, intended for Schur. Tough break right there for Spotswood. Metuchen will get it back. They can tie or take the lead here. Metuchen's rotation a little different today. No Sean Kenny at this point, and we've seen Kaguima play a couple of minutes at the 5. As here is Grice inside. Nice move, Jai Dreher, but can't finish the lay-in. Dreher is just 1 of 5 from the field so far. In the corner, three-pointer, too strong from Stanaway. Piavoso gathers the rebound. Nice play right there, beating out a couple of taller guys. Piavoso taking it himself, and it looks like a foul is going to be called against Chris Stanaway, trying to draw the charge. It's now 9 fouls here against Spotswood. And yes, Chris Stanaway, the junior, picks up his first, and Michael Piavoso will head back to the free throw line, where he's 1 of 3 today. Chargers 14, Bulldogs 12, with 4:46 remaining in the second quarter. First one is good. No changes for either side. Second one good as well. So Piavoso's got 5. Only 3 Bulldogs have scored in this game, whereas Spotswood has already had 6 different players register at least 1 point. We're tied at 14 as Carone drives, and that'll be a turnover. A travel. Looked like Carone was just running with the ball at that point, trying to avoid the defenders. So not a smart play right there from the Spotswood junior. And the Bulldogs get it back, looking to retake the lead. Piavoso over to Grice. Grice finds Dreher. Dreher inside. Schleck posting up, putting it up. No good. And that's going to be an offensive foul against Luke Schleck as he tried to body him out of the way to get that shot up. So that's now 9 fouls here against Metuchen. Of course, that's an offensive foul, so they won't be shooting from the line. Or will they? A little bit of confusion between the refs, but yeah, they will be heading to the line. It'll be Applegate there, as Schleck now has multiple fouls. So Schleck and Dreher with 2 fouls each here at the 4:19 mark in the second as Applegate sinks the first free throw. This game is really going to turn into who can hit their free throws better, and both of these teams have to make adjustments to account for these fouls. Fortunately, these teams both have deep benches, but you still don't want to be picking up this many fouls, as the second one is a free throw violation for Applegate. His foot crossed the line. Metuchen takes it back. The Dogs have it 15-14, trailing by 1 with 4:14 remaining in the first half. Piavoso crosses up Aiden Schur. Almost gets trapped there. Now Dreher, mid-range, posts up, can't get it to fall. Jai Dreher has been so close so many times. As he is down, he took some contact. And he's a little slow to get up there. As the refs try to figure out exactly what to do. Spotswood coach doesn't look too particularly happy that they stopped play right there on the fast break, but we saw Dreher was down. Jai Dreher does head to the bench. As that pass is tipped, Ahmed, and now he takes it right away. Here comes Aiden Ahmed to the bucket, lays it up and in. Aiden Ahmed is playing a great defensive game so far as he gets his first bucket, and Metuchen takes the lead back at 16-15. Now Applegate, Ahmed on him, and a foul is going to be called. And now Ahmed took a shot to the face. What really derailed Metuchen's season last year was injuries, and of course without Dom Chiappa, they're starting this year off on the wrong foot, but can't be losing Dreher, and now Ahmed took a shot to the face right there. Looked like he got poked in the eye a little bit, but it looks like he's going to stay in for now. As Applegate at the line. First free throw no good. Ahmed actually got called for the foul there. That's his 10th. So now it's just 2 free throws here. As that one's good for Applegate. He'll sink his second. He's got 3 points, and we're tied at 16. And now Ahmed's going to head to the bench. He'll take a quick break. So Metuchen, 2 of their starters have gotten a little banged up in the past minute. Not a good sign in what has been a pretty rough first half for this team, as Sean Kenny's going to check in. Bulldogs and Chargers tied at 16. Piavoso's going to drive, takes it himself, sidesteps, and he'll be fouled, and Michael Piavoso will head to the line. It is unbelievable how many fouls we are seeing in this game. Metuchen in the entirety of the game on Saturday had 11 fouls. They've already picked up 10. As this is number 10 against Spotswood, as Piavoso misses the first free throw. So both teams are now in the double bonus. Iacono picked that one up as he'll take a seat. And Brandon Bandoy is going to check in. Second free throw falls for Piavoso, who's now got 6, and he's hit 4 of his 7 free throws. It's 17-16 Metuchen with 3:27 remaining in the first half. It's really turning into who can hit their free throws and who can draw the fouls. That's faking on a three-pointer. Here's Schur. He'll try one. Aiden Schur from downtown. What a shot. Aiden Schur's hit a pair of three-point bombs. Spotswood goes back up 2. Now inside Sean Kenny. Shot waved off, offensive foul. So here comes Spotswood with it. Bandoy, Metuchen bringing the press. Schur almost loses the ball. Spotswood has already used 12 different players, which is pretty impressive for this season where a lot of teams are down on numbers. As Piavoso drives, nice steal by Dreher, nice finish by Piavoso. He's got a game-high 8. Metuchen ties it up at 19, 2:44 remaining in the second quarter. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, so Metuchen's going to bring the press here again, but now it might bite them as Dreher, back into the game, knocks it out of bounds. Now Max Cohn will come in. He'll sub in for Piavoso. Ahmed's still out. Dreher's going to come in, though, so good sign after Dreher took a bit of a nasty hit on the other end a couple of minutes ago. Applegate here, and that pass is going to be picked off by Logan Grice. Over to Kenny. Sean Kenny getting his first minutes. He's been a starter most of this season without Chiappa. Jai Dreher in the corner. He's not going to shoot from back there. Now Max Cohn's going to drive. He'll lose it. Bandoy dives down, and they're going to call a foul, I believe. And it looks like Max Cohn will head to the charity stripe. So Bandoy picks one up. Eight different Spotswood players have picked up at least one foul in the first half. That is unbelievable. As Cohn at the line splashes the first, so Metuchen, 3 unanswered, get the lead right back. A lot of lead changes here. As Cohn averaging just under 2 points per game. Already halfway there as he gets his first. As Iacono will check in for Bandoy. Cohn misses the back end. Dreher the rebound, though. Dreher putting it up. No foul that time. And that's going to be out of bounds. And it'll stay with Metuchen. Marcus Malamug has checked into the game. Malamug and Kugwima both getting their first playing time here with the varsity squad this season. As Metuchen is offsetting Spotswood's constantly changing rotation with their own and playing deep right now. As Cohn will draw another foul. Max Cohn back to the line in what seems like an endless second quarter. We still have 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the first half. Both teams are over 10 fouls. As Cohn puts the first one in. And both of them fall for Max Cohn. 3 of 4 from the line. Bulldogs take the lead back. It's 22-19 after 3 straight Cohn free throws. And that one's going to be knocked away, stolen by Grice. Grice puts it up, can't finish. Kenny the rebound. Kenny has that swatted looking for Malama, taken away by Carone. The other way, here comes Applegate. Grice the defense, and Ryan Applegate finishes his first basket, but he has 5 points. Spotswood back within a point. 22-21. Here's Jai Dreher, and he traveled. I don't know what it is, both the boys and the girls, and we're not really seeing this as much from their opponents. We've seen bad passes from other teams, but both Metuchen boys and Metuchen girls are struggling with traveling this season, which is something kind of simple. Really surprising that both these teams, which have a lot of talent, have been having issues in this way. As Applegate gets forced out of bounds, Metuchen forces the turnover. Nice defense there from Kenny and Grice. But you know, it's such a tough year, and only having 2 weeks of practice, you need that time to get into game shape, and we're still only less than 2 weeks into this season. I still think by the end, these players are going to be a lot more settled down and a lot smoother than they are right now. Sam Kagwima in the game, but guess what? He traveled again. Another turnover. 3 straight travels on offensive possessions for Metuchen. And Spotswood has a chance to take the lead here with 1:17 remaining in the first half. Stanaway gets one over to Schur. Stanaway, Schur, Iacono, Carone, and Applegate out there for the Chargers. 3-pointer, Iacono splashes one from the right wing. Michael Iacono averaging 3 points per game. He got them all right there, and the Chargers up by 2, 24-22, under a minute remaining in the first half. Logan Grice finds Kenny. Kenny drives. Floater is good off the back iron. Sean Kenny with a smooth floater, his first bucket of the game, and we're tied at 24. 36 seconds remaining. Trapped in the double team is Iacono. Now Aiden Schur drops one over to Carone. Carone swings it around. Iacono again from 3, not that time. Kagwima, strong rebound. Here comes Grice, 22 seconds. Metuchen can realistically just hold for that last shot here. Grice finds Malamug. And it's going to be a turnover. Metuchen will have it. Spotswood's JV team acting as the makeshift student section that so many teams are missing out on this year and are really helping to inspire their fellow Chargers on the varsity level. As Max Cohn, guess what? Another travel from Metuchen. They have had 4 travels in the last 2 minutes and 8 seconds. And Spotswood will have 6.8 seconds to try to go into halftime with the lead in a game for the first time this season. Very slowly, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, sure. And they're not even going to put up a shot. Tied at 24. That will end half. I'm surprised they didn't try to take a shot there, but regardless, really strong performance for Spotswood in the first half. 5 points for Ryan Applegate, 6 for Schur, 3 for Iacono, 3 for Yaris, 3 for Carone, 2 for Stanaway, and 2 for Kaminsky. Really spreading the ball around well with 7 different scorers. They have picked up some fouls, but for the Spotswood team, that has been, on average, been losing by 32 points in games this season, including to teams that Metuchen has beaten this season. It's got to be a little concerning for the Bulldogs. You can see on the camera Michael Piavoso, among others, not too happy with how this has gone so far for Metuchen. Spotswood is amped up looking for their first win. Metuchen trying to avoid back-to-back home losses in winnable games. But disappointing so far to say the least. Metuchen has already picked up 12 fouls. Max Cohn has 3. 7 for Schleck, 8 for Piavoso, and then 2 apiece for Ahmed, Kenny, and Dreher. We've seen both Aiden and Ahmed and Jai Dreher being a little shaken up. But tied at 24, we did not see it being like this. We thought Metuchen was going to jump out to a sizable advantage, and that just has not happened. But Spotswood's bench is amped. We are tied at 24. As we head to halftime, we'd also like to remind you that we'd like to thank the Metuchen Education Foundation for their generous funding of the Get Loud grant. As always, we're calling this game from our makeshift studio in the athletic director's office, so a thank you to all the support, and also the MHS Podcast and the Media Club, these two clubs working in cohesion to create these broadcasts. But we'll take a break. We're at the half. It's deadlocked at 24 between Metuchen and Spotswood. We'll be back in a few minutes. I'm Eddie Kalegi. This is the Bulldog Report. We'll be back. Welcome back. Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. Once again, we got to thank everybody who's helping out today. Of course, Ben Selesky, our producer, and Mr. Zanetto and Jada Victor Morse, who are running the cameras today, making this the best broadcast possible. A little bit of a surprise, but we're tied at the end of the second quarter. And from where we are in the athletic director's office, we could hear the Spotswood coach really firing up his guys out there. He's really inspired by his team so far. It's been a great collective team effort. Already 8 different Spotswood players have scored in this game. They've really been moving the ball around well, and it's been impressive as the Chargers keeping pace with Metuchen. And, for example, just putting this in perspective, the Chargers lost by 39 just the other day to South Plainfield, who is a team that Metuchen has already beaten this season. So it's been a surprisingly good performance from Spotswood, and it's been a bit of a disappointing performance. Can't sugarcoat it for Metuchen. A lot of fouls, a lot of turnovers, specifically travels, and they have not been shooting the ball all that well. So all 3 of those factors put together, not producing the best game, but still, they're tied. And there's still time for them to get things going. We're also seeing some appearances from some younger players in this game, like Marcus Malamug, Sam Kugwima, and Max Cohn getting some big-time playing time today. These are all players because you don't want to think about next season just yet, because this just started only 2 weeks ago, but there's going to be a lot of players departing, including Schleck, Piavoso, Dreher, Grice, Kenny. They're all going to be graduating, so new players are going to have to step up, and hopefully Dom Schiappa is healthy to lead the way next season, but they're going to need some new guys to step up on this Metuchen team when the members of the class of 2021 graduate. But turning our focus back to today's game, should be a good dogfight here between the Bulldogs and the Chargers through the second half. Tied at 24. Very balanced game so far. I think the real question here is which team adjusted better to stop fouling. From what we heard from the Spotswood coach, he doesn't really care if they foul out. That was his direct quote. I don't care if you guys foul out. He loves the aggressive defense, and we've seen how deep of a rotation they have. It's very expendable at this point. They've used 12 different players, and they've all produced well. As Kaminsky has been quiet so far, their leading scorer, only 2 points today. He had 2 early fouls. Gets it over to Carone. Carone over to Schur. Gets it over to Kaminsky. Spotswood in blue, Metuchen in white. Spotswood going right to left, Metuchen the other way. Here is Aiden Schur. So it looks like a timeout's going to be called by Spotswood just 30 seconds in to the first half, just trying to organize things. So interesting call there from the Spotswood sideline, but they weren't liking the way that was shaping up, so a timeout was called. This time, we'd also like to extend a thank you to the Metuchen Education Foundation for their generous funding of the Get Loud grant, making today's broadcast and every broadcast throughout this GMC boys and girls basketball season in M-Town possible. And once again, the 2 clubs working together. First, we've got the MHS podcast. We have a new episode of the MHS podcast, which will be posted on Thursday. We'll be joined by Superintendent Dr. Vincent Caputo to discuss the COVID-19 testing now offered at the school. We'll also be joined by a couple of seniors who are leading the coalition effort to change the school schedule in wake of the pandemic. And we'll also have an update on all the latest in Metuchen sports with Josh Hyman, so you'll be sure to check that out by going to @MHS Podcast on YouTube and Twitter. So with the ball, here are the Chargers. Kaminsky trying to find someone open. Carone spears that with one hand, keeps it in. Nice play right there in the corner from Roman Carone. As now a 3-pointer taken. Yaris got fouled, and here we go with the fouls for the Bulldogs. It's Dan Yaris, who picked up 2 of his own early in the first quarter and didn't get to play much after sinking an early 3-pointer. He picked up 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes of the game. He's at the line here for Spotswood as Aiden Ahmed picks up his 3rd. So he's got 3. Dreher and Schleck each have 2. And Yaris puts in the first free throw and the first points of the second half, 25-24. Yaris misses the second, so once again, 3 at the line. He got fouled, taking one from beyond the arc, so he's got one more right here. Yaris only hits 1 of 3. Piavoso with the rebound. And here comes Metuchen with their first offensive possession of the second half. Piavoso finds Ahmed. Ahmed flips one over to Schleck. Back to Ahmed. Piavoso has not shot the ball too well today. He's in the corner. Sidesteps, now drives, now spins. Back to Dreher. Dreher, Grice, now Schleck. Grice moves, Schleck, trapped at the elbow. Back to Grice. Logan Grice decides against the 3. Spotswood closing out of the 3s very nicely. Now Piavoso drives inside, puts it up, rolls it in, and the foul. Michael Piavoso's now got 10, got a chance for 11 and 3 on this possession as he'll head to the line. Great shot by Piavoso, hung in there and put it in. And now MP33 puts that one in as well. 11 for Piavoso. 5 of 8 from the free throw line, and it's 27-25. A nice trap here from the Metuchen defense, but now Sure, almost losing it is Yaris. He's now trapped in the corner by Schleck. Yaris tries to cross one over to Comiskey, and that's going to be a turnover for Spotswood, and Metuchen will take over. So the Bulldogs have played 2 close games this season. One they got in 3 overtimes against South Plainfield. The other one they flopped in the final couple minutes and lost a very winnable game at home against Denellen. So hoping to make it 2 out of 3 in close games if it stays like that. But a bad play by Jai Dreher. He has had a rough game, 2 rough games in a row after that impressive 18-point, 21-rebound performance on Wednesday against South Plainfield. As a nice post move, Carone, now he's going to lose it, so each team's big man has lost the ball out of bounds in consecutive possessions. Metuchen takes possession back here with 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Here's Ahmed. Fires one over. Mid-range, no good for Piavoso. Rebound by Carone. Here comes Sure. Driving. In the lane, putting it up. That's an offensive foul. Applegate not happy. Nice job drawing the charge right there from Piavoso. That's his specialty on the defensive side. And Metuchen has it. Here comes Piavoso. Bulldogs 27, Chargers 25. 5:35 remaining in the third quarter. Piavoso spins, gets it over to Grice. Now Schleck. And it's a travel for Luke Schleck. The bane of Metuchen's existence in the first half, the travel, is back here, their first of the second half. Really tough for this Metuchen team at this point. As Ahmed bats that one away, but it's secured. Now Applegate, now Spotswood with numbers. Yaris from the corner, bombs the three-pointer, no good. The putback no good either from Carone. Schleck spears it, but now Piavoso's pass taken away by Aiden Sure. Sure double-teamed, and that's going to be put on the floor, and Jai Dreher takes it away. Fires one down court. Piavoso lays it up and puts it in. It's 29-25. Nobody's led this game by more than 6, and that one's going to be knocked out of bounds. Spotswood keeps it up, down by 4, with 4:48 remaining in the third. Here's a quick pass. Applegate over to Carone, and out of bounds. Errant pass intended for Aiden Sure. Metuchen takes it back. Spotswood starting to struggle a little bit. And a timeout's going to be called with Metuchen up by 4 here with 4.5 remaining in the third quarter. Metuchen still making some mistakes, but their defense has begun to play clean. They've only had 1 foul in the first 3.5 minutes of this first half, which is quite the disparity from all the fouls they picked up in the first half. They had 12, and I believe it was 11 for Spotswood. So going back to what we were saying in the last break, the podcast and also the media club in charge of this. If you're interested in joining the media club, helping out with these broadcasts, learning about how it all works with producing behind the scenes, you can talk to their student president, sophomore Ben Solaski. He'll get you set up with the media club. So 29-25 is our score. Bulldogs' next game is tomorrow at South River. The girls will be home tomorrow. We'll obviously be streaming the game just as we do for JV and Varsity. I will not be on the call tomorrow. It'll just be a video stream of the action. I'll be back on Friday, I believe, when the girls have another home game this Friday. But that's what we're currently looking at this point. So the girls will be in action against South River tomorrow, but the boys hoping to pick up a win here and get to 3-2 before having to play a tough South River team on the road. Metuchen currently 1-1 so far this season at home. One opening night against Middlesex, then lost on Saturday to Denellen. Trying to make it best 2 out of 3 at home so far. Schleck rims out on the 3. Rebound by Schur. Comiskey gets it back to Schur. Hutchins done a good job shutting down Casey Comiskey so far, who has the ball. Kicks it out. Schur, short on the 3 off the left side of the rim, but Carone there. Nobody from Metuchen boxed him out. And Roman Carone with an easy path for the lay-in. 29-27. Piavoso. Over to Schleck. Schleck inside, can't get it to fall. Put back, no good, but a foul was called. And we do have a color guy, actually, Josh Hyman. He just couldn't be here for today's game. He was busy with track practice. Of course, they just started with track practice. There's actually an interesting article, just a little side promo from mycentraljersey.com, all about the shoveling that the track team had to do of the track on Thursday and Friday. It's a unique experience, a team-building experience that Coach Holleran always likes to do during a snowstorm. So you can check that article out. But that's why Josh isn't here today. He's been with us for a few of the games. And obviously, for any Metuchen students listening, we're always open to finding new kids who'd like to help out with broadcasts, especially next year when I'll be graduating. So if you're interested in any of that, you can contact me, Eddie Kalegi, or Ben Solaski about that. But regardless, back to the action. Luke Schleck hits both. It's 31-27. Ahmed dives to the ground to try to take it away. Now a three-point attempt. That one's no good off the back iron and taken away by Logan Grice, who fights for that rebound away from Dan Yaris. Here comes Grice. Screen set by Dreher. Piavoso on the left wing, met by Stanaway, who's just checked into the game. Schleck inside, and that's going to be a turnover. A double dribble. And when even Luke Schleck, who's one of Metuchen's usually sure-footed players, not making mistakes like that, when he has multiple travels and a half, you know it's not going particularly well for the Bulldogs today. As inside, and that one will fall for Roman Carone, who's now got 7, 31-29. Two-point game here with 3:06 remaining in the third quarter. Nice to see both Ahmed and Dreher in, because they had little injury scares in the second quarter. Dreher took a big fall, and Ahmed got poked in the eye, but they've both been playing since, as an errant pass from Piavoso. Errant pass to Piavoso. Stanaway carries it over, and Spotswood takes it back. Chargers down 2, 3:04 remaining here in the third quarter. Aiden Schur has been quiet in the second half after a big first quarter on the offensive end with a couple of three-pointers. And now it's taken away by Ahmed. Outlet pass, Piavoso puts it in. Michael Piavoso's got 15, 7 in the third quarter. Bulldogs up by 4, 33-29. Schur fires one over to Yaris. Now here's Comiskey, back to Schur. Carone gets free. Carone inside, Stanaway. In the corner, Schur, 3, not this time. Gets his own rebound though, and it's an easy lay-in for Comiskey. Terrible defensive breakdown right there for Metuchen. Comiskey just his second bucket, averaging 13 points per game. He's got 4 today, and Spotswood's within 2. Now Grice in the corner for 3. No good, left it short, Stanaway the rebound. Spotswood can tie or take the lead here. Driving in, kicking it out. 3-pointer, Corone is short, rebound, and it's good for Aiden Schur, who's got 8. And believe it or not, folks, Spotswood has come back again to tie this game with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Chargers bench fired up. Now, what's not helping Metuchen either, Spotswood's kept their JV players here with them for the game, so they've got a bit of a student section. And since there's no fans this season, this is suddenly turning into a home court advantage of sorts for Spotswood at their road arena. So this is not really a good situation for the Bulldogs to be in, but tied at 33 here with 1:56 remaining in the third. And like we said, this is a shocker because Spotswood was allowing 76 points per game this season against teams including Middlesex and South Plainfield that the Bulldogs beat and played good defense against. But they've held Metuchen to under half that with just 33 points for the Bulldogs with under 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. One positive, Metuchen's only picked up 1 foul in the first 6 minutes here of the third quarter after 12 fouls in the first half. Piavoso volleys one over to Grice, who finds Schleck. Schleck met by Yaris. Really playing prevent no threes defense here are the Chargers as Piavoso making a move inside, can't finish, but trying to get a putback and trying to draw a foul, and he does. Piavoso took quite the hit right there from Roman Corone, but a smart play to try to go for his own rebound because defensively, Metuchen has had a couple of bad plays where they have not been going for rebounds. That is something that Metuchen needs to take advantage of. When you have guys like Dreyer and Schleck, they finally have the height to compete against other teams, and they have not been getting the rebounds. They also have struggled a bit from the line. Piavoso is just 5 of 9 from the line, and he misses the first right here. That one is good. So 16 for Piavoso, including 8 here in the second half. Bulldogs take the lead back up 1. Stanaway gets it into Schur. And that's a turnover stolen by Logan Grice. Grice quick pass to Kenny. It's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Roman Corone. And the Bulldogs will have it from underneath, looking to expand on this lead. Kenny bounces one over. Schleck, 3-pointer. Oh no, and he almost got it to go. Kenny bounced out to Grice. I thought that one was in, and then it just grazed the bottom of the net. Grice tries to bounce one in, and that's a travel. That pass was not anywhere close to any of his teammates anyway, and Spotswood is going to take possession again with a chance to take the lead here with a minute remaining in the third quarter. Here's Schur, splits the double. Corone kicks it out. 3-pointer, Yaris, no good. Luke Schleck the rebound. Under a minute remaining in the third. Max Cohn just into the game for the Bulldogs. Finds Grice. Bad pass intended for Dreher. Way too strong of a pass right there from Logan Grice. Just everybody is struggling today for Metuchen. It's as if every player is having their bad game at the same time, and that's not good against any team, even an 0-4 Spotswood club. Here comes Roman Corone, driving in, kicking out, swing pass, now to the top of the key. Comiskey can't handle it. Nice defensive play by Max Cohn to take it away. Final 30 seconds of the third quarter. Grice to Cohn, fakes on the 3, drives in, intended for Dreher, out of bounds, last touch by the Chargers. Ahmed's going to check back in. Grice will sit after a couple turnovers in a row. Kenny finds Schleck. Schleck, corner 3 is good from downtown. Big time three for Metuchen, only their second three of the game. It's 37-33 Bulldogs. Schleck's now got 12. Got to get back on defense. Stanaway, Yaros blocked by Schleck. Big time play on the other end. 10 seconds left in the quarter. Ahmed drives in. Offensive foul, though. What a charge drawn there by Chris Stanaway, the junior for the Chargers. As Metuchen had a chance to get their biggest lead of the game right there and take all the momentum heading into the third quarter. And now Spotswood, now let's see if they'll actually go for a shot here before the end of the quarter. They wouldn't last time. Schur is going to drive, kicks it over. Here's Applegate. Yaris in the corner for three, no good, didn't get it off in time anyway. And that's where we'll leave it heading into the fourth quarter. Big time three for Schleck, big time block as well. But Metuchen's only up 4 here against the winless Spotswood Chargers, hoping to get a victory. We'll have more for the fourth quarter. Final 8 minutes, it's going to get good. Bulldogs 37, Chargers 33. We'll be back in a moment. All right, well, didn't think it was going to be this close, but it's a 4-point game against the Spotswood team that lost 8 seniors last year, have lost their games by an average of 32 points this season. Still looking for their first win here on the road, but I think what's really helping them, of course, their shooting is pretty solid so far. They're making more of their free throws than Metuchen. They're playing lockdown defense, preventing three-pointers, so Metuchen took over. But also having that little student section of JV players, I think, is really helping to motivate their guys. But Metuchen was able to keep up with Denellen because they could hit three-pointers. Schleck hit one at the end of the third, but Metuchen only has 2 today, and that's been the story of the game. Jai Dreher has had a rough game, same for Grice. Schleck and Piavoso have not been at their best, and when all 4 of your key senior players are not playing well, you can expect a performance like this. And Carone is now going to be fouled on a push-off there against Piavoso. Metuchen's 3rd foul here of the half. So Piavoso's now picked up 3 fouls, as has Ahmed. As inside, Carone puts one up, can't get it to fall. Grice hits the deck, kicks it out. Yaris now right wing, 3-pointers, no good. Luke Schleck gets the rebound. Schleck has really had to carry this team, him and Piavoso, as the rest of the Bulldogs have really struggled today. Now Schleck kicks it back, Grice. Grice gets around the Dreher screen. Now Ahmed. And another turnover. I'm going to say he traveled. You can see Aiden Ahmed shaking his head, not too happy with that call there. Regardless, it's Spotswood ball, down 4, 7:07 remaining. Schur finds Applegate. Now over to Yaris. Yaris now double teamed. Pass batted by Dreher, off of Ahmed. And they're going to say last touch by Spotswood. Now, I thought that might have been off of Ahmed, but a lot of questionable calls so far from the officials, but they've kind of gone both ways. So it's been pretty balanced. As Piavoso drives in, kicks it back. Grice, Schleck, corner 3, again, it's good! Luke Schleck from downtown. 15 for Schleck. He and Piavoso have combined for 31 of Metuchen's 40 points. And a turnover, it's stolen by Grice. Grice back to Dreher. Dreher over to Grice. Now Schleck. Schleck again for 3. That one's short. Fighting for the rebound goes Piavoso. It's a jump ball. That means Spotswood is going to take possession. But that also means at a more crucial point now, Metuchen is in line for the next jump ball. We have not seen many jump balls in this game. I believe that's only the second of the game. 40-33. Metuchen actually has their biggest lead of the game right now. They haven't led by more than 7. Comiskey finds Applegate. Back to Casey Comiskey. Spins. Back to Applegate. Applegate drives. Puts it up through the contact. That's going to be an offensive foul. Ryan Applegate will turn it over. He's been held to 5 points today, averaging 8 points per game this season. Leading scorers for Spotswood, 8 for Sure, 7 for Carone, 5 for Applegate, and 4 for Comiskey and for Yaris. Piavoso over to Ahmed. Now Piavoso finds Grice into the corner. Schleck back to Grice. Fires to Piavoso. Double team. Spins in. What a move by Piavoso. And it looks like he's going to draw the foul there. Piavoso just hopping around, getting space. And now Michael Piavoso will shoot 2 from the free throw line as the Bulldogs hoping to get a little breathing room here with 5:48 remaining in the fourth. But every time Metuchen's gotten off to a little bit of a lead, Spotswood has gotten things going. So the Bulldogs hoping to finally right the ship here as Piavoso rolls that one in. Piavoso's now 7 of 12 from the free throw line. As Kenny replaces Ahmed, so it's an all-senior group right now for Metuchen as Piavoso nets them both. 18 for Piavoso, who has had a major increase in his scoring from a season ago, averaging 16.5 coming into this game. As a quick pass there from Trey Laser. He's going to try a three-pointer and leaves it short. Rebound Piavoso. Here comes Piavoso. Drifts back. Metuchen, no need to rush. They've got a lead of 9 right now with 5:24 remaining in the fourth. Grice. Dreher tries to set a screen, but that's a moving pick, and he got tripped up anyway. Metuchen sideline's not too happy with how the Bulldogs played that offensive possession. And Spotswood gets it back. Chargers in desperate need of points. It's Laser from downtown. He hits. Trey Laser's got 6. Spotswood's within 6, 42-36. Piavoso drives, kicks it. Kenny sidesteps. Back to Piavoso. Now Schleck. Grice. Kenny. Grice will slow things down and stands between the circles. Dreher sets a screen. Over to Kenny. Bounce pass inside. Dreher posting up. Low block. Hook shot is good for Jai Dreher. Dreher with just his second bucket of the game. And Metuchen's back up by 8. 4:25 to go. They'll bring the pressure. The trap. But they'll get the pass away. And Comiskey turns over the ball. Schleck, the Euro step. Can't get it to fall. Rebound by Carone. Here comes Chris Stanaway with it. Stanaway fires over. Now again, it's Laser for 3. Not this time. And we'll see who the foul is on there. A big-time collision between Michael Piavoso and Casey Comiskey. As Ahmed will replace Grice. They're going to call Grice for a foul there. That's his second. Not really, pretty confused there because it was Piavoso and Comiskey who were the two that made contact, and they called Grice for the foul. Anyway, Metuchen's going to force the turnover. Dreher takes it. 4 minutes remaining here. Bulldogs up 8. Piavoso dribbles near Coach Jensen to get the call. Taking it slow. And Metuchen's going to call timeout here with 3:52 to go. Well, they've gotten the lead up to 8, but this is not, even if they win this game, this is not a performance the Bulldogs can look positively back at. Obviously, there are some positives. It's been solid offensive games from both Piavoso and Schleck. But other than that, Metuchen's passing has been off. Their free throw shooting has not been great. The defensive performance has not been too solid. And the fouls, not as much of an issue here in the second half, but the first half were a major problem, seeing numerous starters in foul trouble. And to see Spotswood, who was 0-4, come into your home court with so much confidence, it's a little concerning heading into other home games this season. Now, I know they do have that little student section, which I think certainly is firing them up a little bit because they're playing in front of some fans. And these days, you know, something is everything. Like, having something during this crazy time is really key. And you see those fans there having a little bit of a student section there to support them. Only about 10 guys, all part of the JV team, but I mean, you're certainly feeding off of that. But regardless, Metuchen does have the lead, and they're looking to finish this off and get to 3-2. Ahmed gets it over to Kenny. Kenny makes his move, drives in, kicks it back Dreher, now over to Piavoso. It's Metuchen's big three of Schleck, Dreher, and Piavoso, along with Kenny and Aiden Ahmed. Kenny spins. And are they going to call a jump ball there? See what they're going to rule that. Or if they're going to call a foul. I was a little confused by the signal there because he put both hands up. But they're going to go with the foul here. It's going to be Aiden Sure. That's going to be his third foul. Just an update on some of the people who have some foul trouble. For Spotswood, 3 fouls for Sure, 3 for Comiskey, and 2 for Yaris. For Metuchen, 3 for Piavoso, 3 for Schleck, 3 for Ahmed, and 2 for Dreher. As Metuchen's in the bonus. And Sean Kenny knocks down the first free throw. Kenny with 3 points. Coming off the bench today. And he splashes both. 2 key free throws there. And the Bulldogs have a double-digit lead. 46-36. With 3:25 to go. Biggest lead from Metuchen. And a steal. Aiden Ahmed inside. Puts it up and in. This is how we expected the Bulldogs to play in this game. But now, finally, in sync. Defense. Aiden Ahmed has played a great defensive game. And Metuchen has taken a dozen-point lead. 48-36. Spotswood coach is giving defensive lessons all the way on the other side of the court, heading out there with Dan Yaris just to clear things up. You can tell he's got an unconventional coaching style, but it certainly feeds off well and certainly fires up his players, and they play with a lot of passion. So despite not having a lot of seniors this year, despite some tough losses, and despite this game slipping away from the Chargers, you really have to instill some confidence in them that when these players become juniors or seniors in the next year or two, that Spotswood is going to be back to being a top-line program in the Blue Division. But regardless, right now, Metuchen looking to finish this game off. Now, the Bulldogs at the 3:15 mark was right when it all collapsed against Dunellen on Saturday, when they gave up 13 points, 13 unanswered points that allowed Dunellen to come from behind and take that win. So Metuchen's just got a lockdown here to finish this off, and that's a good way to start it as Logan Grice picks off Sure's pass, and now the Bulldogs can just try to work the clock with 3:04 remaining in the fourth. Here's Schleck on the left wing. Schleck kicks it back. Grice taking his time. Piavoso's now on the bench for Metuchen. Dreher over to Ahmed. Schleck over to Grice. Grice dribbles back, makes a nice move. Now Schleck. And they're going to foul. That's going to be against Aiden Sure. That's number 4 on him. Sure, their leading scorer now with 4 fouls. And Schleck here at the line. He's got 15 points. Splashes the first, so Metuchen has now made 6 consecutive free throws here in the fourth quarter after struggling from the line throughout the first half. But they're starting to pile it on here. And Schleck hits both. 50-36. Metuchen now up 14. This game had gone back and forth between a 1-point Spotswood lead and a 4-point Metuchen lead from basically the end of the first quarter till the fourth, but Metuchen having a big fourth quarter as Comiskey rims out on the layup, going for the ball. Grice is going to take it. Now here comes Kenny, and he gets it over to Aiden Ahmed. Schleck pivots, kicks it back. There's Kenny. Kenny leaves it for Ahmed. Defense comes from Laser. Now it's Grice. And Laser's going to foul Grice. He was trying to make it look like a shooting foul, but it doesn't really matter because he's going to be going to the free throw line anyway because Metuchen's in the bonus. In fact, they're in the double bonus now. So 2 shots coming here as Laser picks up his second foul with 1:59 remaining. Rice is off on the first free throw, but thankfully Metuchen in the double bonus, so he'll get another one. Whole new crews coming in here for Spotswood. Iacono, senior Liam Barlow. Bandoy as Grice misses both. Caden Esser also in. So Spotswood going to the back of their bench. As a shot from downtown, no good for sure. Dreher tries to slam it over to Kenny, who gets it. Errant pass nearly taken away there by Barlow. And now Max Cohn drives from Metuchen. And a timeout will be called here with 1:36 remaining in the fourth quarter. So one last time, we'd like to give a thank you to the Metuchen Education Foundation for their generous funding of the Get Loud grant, which is making this broadcast and every broadcast throughout the season possible. So 1:36 remaining. Metuchen's fourth quarter has been nice. They've shot the ball well from the free throw line, a couple of clutch shots from Schleck and Piavoso, and the defense has been strong. Since this game was even at 33, it's been a 17-3 Metuchen run. They've outscored Spotswood here 13-3 in the fourth quarter. But in the big picture, this has not been a performance to be happy about for Metuchen. There's been some serious issues that they have to figure out before they have their games against some tougher opponents. But as for Spotswood, a lot to be happy about from this young Chargers team. A deep team. Nice to see the participation there in Spotswood as well, because we've seen this year how a lot of programs have been missing out on players, and Metuchen's really no exception to this with their boys and girls teams, between players that just don't want to play this winter given the circumstances. But it's nice to see Spotswood's got a big group, mainly of underclassmen, that will be strong for them in the next couple of years. Metuchen going deep onto their bench as that pass is taken away. So both teams bringing in the very last resorts at this point, as driving in through the contact. Let's see if they counted that basket. They did. For Aiden Schur, who is now into double figures with 10 points. Janu Dreher, Jai's brother, is going to check in for his first varsity playing time. It's Janu Dreher, Shreyas Hari, Max Cohn, Sam Kaguima, and Marcus Malamug, who a year or two down the line, this is going to be Metuchen's main group, as a three-point play converted by Schur, 50-39, 1:21 to go. Barlow steals it, heads up play, and here comes Spotswood. Kicking it over, Schur for three, way off, trying to save it as Barlow, and all he does is bat it off his own teammate. Metuchen's going to keep possession. Now this is an issue that Metuchen had in their season opener against Middlesex on inbound plays, that they were very sloppy. The main guys got it under control, but these role players, I mean, they have to find a similar reprieve from that situation, as here's Malamug, leaves it for Max Cohn, under a minute to play. And it looks like a foul going to be called there on Spotswood. Looks like that one is going to be against Liam Barlow. Actually, are they calling that an offensive foul? All right, it's an offensive. So Spotswood's going to be shooting a free throw here. Ryan Applegate is looking like he's going to check in. Now they're going back the other way. I'm telling you, some of the officiating calls today have been confusing to say the least. It hasn't been a smooth game for everybody. But regardless, Spotswood takes the ball. It's an offensive foul, I guess, against Sam Kugwima down low. And now a three-pointer is up and no good for Iacono. Rebound Cone. 42 seconds. Cone trying to cross him up, but out of bounds. 11-point game, but if this was any closer, Metuchen would be a little concerned at this point. But still an 11-point lead here with 40 seconds on the clock. As a timeout is going to be called here by Spotswood. This is their last timeout. Metuchen still letting Spotswood hang around here till the very end of this game. And looking at the box scores quickly, the Bulldogs, of course, their two main scorers, both have had big days. Michael Piavoso, 18 points. Luke Schleck, 17. Dreher has been held to just 4 points for the second consecutive game. Kenny has 4. Ahmed has 4. And Max Cone has 3. On the other side for Spotswood, 11 points for Aiden Schur, 7 for Corone, 6 for Trey Laser, 5 for Applegate, 4 apiece for Comiskey and Yaris, and 2 for Chris Stanaway. If the Bulldogs can finish this thing off, they'll be 3-2 and 3-1 in the blue division, with another matchup tomorrow on the road against South River. Of course, like we alluded to, this game was supposed to be yesterday, but because of the inclement weather, Spotswood actually was closed and canceled all of their extracurricular activities, so this game had to be rescheduled for today. Second game, Metuchen's had postponed, but fortunately neither one has been because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Both have been because of weather, the Denellen game and the Spotswood game. But fortunately, with this weird schedule, they've still been able to get both these games in. As a quick pass, Malamug is going to snatch it away. Bad pass right there from Caden Esser. 25 seconds for the Bulldogs. Driving is Johnu Dreher. He puts it on the floor. And a tie-up, and it's going to go to Spotswood. Metuchen's JV guys struggling a little bit out here on the varsity level. And a timeout's going to be called here with 21 seconds remaining. They always say the last 2 minutes are the longest 2 minutes of any game, and this has proven to be no exception. Overall, this has been one of the longer games of the season. We're already after 7 o'clock. It's been over an hour and a half since we started this game off. Of course, Metuchen has already had a lengthy game that went over 2 hours this season, a triple overtime affair. That was on the road against South Plainfield. But Metuchen just hoping to finish this thing off and avoid anything crazy. But an 11-point lead with 21 seconds left. Do the math, they should be pretty safe. So it's still Kugwima, Malamug, Johnu Dreher, Shreyas Hari, and Max Cone for Metuchen. Bamboy, Esser, Barlow, out there with Iacomo and Applegate. As the steal, Iacomo goes to the basket. He'll be fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2. So Michael Iacono at the line with 15 seconds remaining. Iacono, a junior, first playing time today, averaging 3 points per game. He's coming at the end of a lot of these games and converted, and he hits that one. That one's good. 50-41. 15 seconds. Malama gets it into Cone. Cone dribbling around. Gets it over to Hari. 10 seconds on the clock. Shreyas Hari with Bamboy on him. 5 seconds. Cone splits the double team. Gets it over to Malamug. Kicks it out. Johnu Dreher. And that will do it. It wasn't pretty, but the Metuchen Bulldogs rebound from a loss on Saturday to pick up their 3rd win of the season, taking this one by a final score of 50-41 here against the Spotswood Chargers. The Chargers, their best game of the season, but they fall to 0-5, while Metuchen improves to 3-2 and 3-1 in the blue division, led by 18 points from Michael Piavoso, 17 from Luke Schleck. So that'll just about wrap up today's broadcast. A thank you to our cameraman, Mr. Zanetto and Jada Victor Morse, and our producer, Ben Selaski, and of course to the Metuchen Education Foundation for funding our grant to broadcast all games this season. Well, once again, we'll have a stream of the girls' action tomorrow. I won't be here. I'll be back on Friday, though, for more basketball action. Until then, though, I'm Eddie Kalegi on the Bulldog Report. Once again, the final score, Metuchen 50, Spotswood 41.